The Fall Obsessions Hunter Nation is sponsored by Upwind Odor Eliminator. Hunt down odors, hunt upwind.
We see 11 different bucks, I believe it was. We were in the same infantry platoon together. Several months into a pretty hectic deployment, Derek was wounded. So I look at Derek and I'm like, make this happen, you gotta make this happen. What's up, Hunter Nation? Fall Obsession Field Staffer Will Sandberg here, and I'm excited to share with you one of the best and most memorable hunts I've been a part of. Now, I'd like to jump right into the footage, but I need to tell you a little backstory so you can understand why this hunt was so special to me. For this hunt, I was the cameraman, and I was filming for my longtime good buddy Derek, who has flown in for the past 2 seasons to bow hunt the Wisconsin whitetail rut with me. Last year he was able to punch a doe tag and had some encounters with 2 really nice bucks, but wasn't able to seal the deal. I met Derek in Alaska back in 2004. We were in the same infantry platoon together, and as soon as we met, we hit it off and became friends. We were always out snowboarding, off-roading, doing whatever Alaska has to offer, and we even took a trip, somehow got a 4-day pass to Hawaii. It was pretty crazy. The details I'll take to the grave with me, but yeah, we've been good buds for a long time. In 2005, our unit got deployed to Mosul, Iraq to kick Al-Qaeda butt, and after several months into a pretty hectic deployment, Derek was wounded. I wasn't actually with our platoon that day because I got tasked with my colonel's security detachment, and Derek and our platoon had been out patrolling all night and into the morning, and the element I was with was just getting on the vehicles ready to roll out, and then that's when we heard and saw the blast. Our base overlooked Mosul, and it was common to see explosions on a daily basis and big black clouds of smoke from IEDs. But when this one happened, the radios came alive, and the voice I hear coming over the radio was frantic, and I recognized it. It was one of my fellow squad leaders from our platoon, and he gave Derek's vehicle number and said the words catastrophic kill, which usually means the vehicle's done and there are no survivors. So we got on our vehicles and rushed out of the wire as quickly as possible, and by the time we arrived on the scene, there was nobody there. Our platoon had taken off, and it was just that lone blown-up vehicle, and it was an absolute mess. It was mangled. Now, I'm not trying to be a tough guy or anything, but I can honestly say the only time I was scared during my entire Iraq deployment was right then and there when I saw that vehicle. I just thought there was no way anyone could have survived. There was a huge gash in the armor from Derek's driver's hatch all the way back to the vehicle commander hatch, where you could see up under and into the vehicle in Derek's cockpit, basically. And everything inside was just destroyed. So at that point, I was like, well, I had 5 good buddies and friends in the vehicle, and Derek, my best friend, and I was like, man, I lost those guys. But not to keep you hanging, no one died. We didn't know that at the time. We didn't really know anything, so we rushed to the hospital, and there we found most of our guys with big bruises, scratches, headaches, obviously, and then Derek and my platoon sergeant were wounded the worst. My platoon sergeant's legs were pretty mangled. He was ejected from the vehicle and thrown 30-some feet into the air, and Derek had smashed his face on the periscope of the vehicle and busted his eye sockets. And then so when I see Derek there with gauze over his eyes, I'm like, man, you're blind. And Derek is like the most motivated guy you'll ever meet, and in his Californian accent was like, dude, I'm gonna be all right. And I was like, Roger that. And he was fine, you know, considering what could have happened in that instance. So we kept in touch through the years. We've met in some pretty cool places across the states. And more recently, Derek told me about 2 years ago he was getting into bow hunting, and he's been pursuing these big country California muley blacktail hybrids that sound pretty reclusive. And the last 2 years, like I said, he's come out to bow hunt with me, and he was able to punch a doe tag this year and the year before, but was still looking for that buck tag, and it was coming down to the end of the season. So to set the scene of the footage you're about to watch, we had been sitting in separate stands all week, just because it's nice to, you know, get out by yourself in nature. It's as therapeutic as it comes. But we had been doing all-day sits all week, dark to dark, in my stands that have seats like this big. It's not easy on the body. So by the time we were done hunting, we didn't want to hang out and talk. We wanted to sleep. So we decided that I would sit in the stand with him and film his hunt, you know, and we get some more time together. And so on Friday, we see 11 different bucks, I believe it was. 11 different deer, and all of them bucks. And he passed on some few yearlings. Some decent ones came through out of range, and another one, probably like a smaller 2-year-old 10-pointer, came right in under us from behind and busted us. And Derek ended up getting a rush shot at about 30 yards, but he overestimated the distance and put an arrow right over him. It wasn't meant to be. It happens. So the next day, Saturday, we decide, hey, we saw so much deer activity, let's go sit in the exact same stand. And sure enough, we get in there before sunrise. We put down some estrus doe trail scents and get in stand. And just as it's light enough to see if anything's coming, I hit the horns together, do a little grunt sequence on my flex tone tube, and we heard him coming right then and there. So as we see this buck come in, I realize, hey, that's not a bad buck. It's a nice little 10-pointer and would be perfect for Derek's first bow kill. So we hope he comes right through Derek's shooting lane, right under the stand, and he doesn't. He actually stops at this rub I saw the day before, and he starts going to town on this tree. And like, I could watch the footage all day, but I won't make you. This deer rubs this tree for over 4.5 minutes, just goes to town on it. And it was a super awesome experience. Now, what you can't tell by the video, well, what you can tell is that I have a perfect shot at the deer, but I'm not the one doing the hunting. Derek is, and he's on the back side of my tree. So we're kind of patient. Obviously, we're watching this deer rub for several minutes. And then I start thinking, okay, he came up here to the rattling, he looked around, he didn't see any deer, he made his point on this tree. At any second, he's just going to bust right back into the brush, into the bedding. There's no reason for him to come up here anymore. So I look at Derek and I'm like, make this happen, you got to make this happen. And he had to do some acrobatics. He had to like unhook his safety strap so he could get around the tree, hook it up into mine, and then at that point, I was like, why aren't you shooting? Why aren't you shooting? And I look down, and my legs are in the way. Like, he has to sneak this arrow by me. So I had to do some acrobatics. I had to stand up, sit my seat up, and get as close to the tree as possible so Derek could sneak this arrow through, all while trying not to alert this deer to our presence. This deer, he takes a look around, like, and I know he was going to bolt at any second, because like I said, he came up there, he made his point, and he was going to be gone. And that's when Derek let him have it, and he smokes this deer, and it takes off running.
why, you think? I don't know. He made the sweet sound so right. Like a lung dip or something. Oh, yeah. That was easy, man. It looked like there was penetration, right? Yeah. Okay, let's review the footage. I can't wait. I love you, brother.
So obviously we're super pumped about the encounter we just had with this deer. So we start watching the replays on the video, trying to see if it was a good shot or not. And we're taking pictures with our phones of the viewfinder of the camera and sending them to our buddies. Like, what do you think of the shot? You know. What we did is we got down and we, went up to the scene of the site, and it was pretty clear at that point he got real good penetration, buried it to the fletchings, and it had broke off on both sides.
All right, so
we go have breakfast. We gave it like 2 hours. I call one of my buddies. He gets down out of his tree stand to come meet us. He's an expert tracker, and just to make sure that we get this deer recovered.
Oh, Will.
he's narrow, but look at that. Yeah, look at those lungs just bubbling.
Yeah, we heard that sound. Dude, I couldn't be more excited. This is awesome.
The Follow-Up Sessions Hunter Nation is sponsored by Upwind Odor Eliminator and by Upwind Game Adventures.
You can see me shaking. I'm a little bit excited.